Thank you so much, Tina, for joining the amazing We Don't Play podcast show today. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Anytime, anytime. I've always wanted to ask you about the word stars in your name, and you also have a star, behind you. Like, what does it mean for you? What is
You know
this?
what? I love the fact that you asked that because nobody ever asks me that question. So my whole life, even as a little girl, you ever doodle as a kid? Remember you like doodle, you'll draw stuff. I would always write, reach for the moon, and if you fall, you'll be amongst the stars. I've always loved that saying. So everything I did years ago, I had a modeling company. It was actually called Elite Stars with a Z. So everything I do has a Z on it. It has a star. It has a something. It makes me feel bright. And with my name, someone actually came up with it. You know how you have nicknames for people like Bubba and Elm, Peace and M, whatever. And I'm like, I need a nickname. And they're like, what about Star? I was like, no, because when you think of Star, you think of Beyonce, Whitney Houston. Not to say I didn't think I was a star, but I just didn't feel comfortable calling myself Star. So then I was like, Stars, why not? And then throw it on with a Tina. So that's how you come up with Stars Tina, because I just love stars.
I love that. I love that. And I love what you said about the Z because I also have the same thing too. My pseudonym, artist name is Flav Beats, and it's with a Z. If you put the S there, it doesn't really hit home like you have with a Z.
Exactly.
Exactly, exactly. This is amazing. Thank you so much for that opening statement. I'm sure a lot of people are now tapping that out. Okay, we can see her personality. She's bubbly. She's excited. That's really good. Tell me more, or even tell us more about how you
Yes,
how you
yes.
how
Well,
you got.
first of all, I want to say again, thank you for having me on. I know we've been on Clubhouse. I don't know
Yeah.
who's listening to us, but guys, I love, love, love Clubhouse. I've been on it for like a year and a half. It's helped me so much, and this is my very first podcast. So
Woo!
I'm like, again,
Hey,
you're breaking me in.
let's go.
But I am a fitness professional. I've been into fitness a long time. Like I love, love, love fitness. I wake up like we were talking earlier. I exercise every day. It's all about nutrition. I'm not saying I'm the best eater. I'm not saying I'm the best, person with exercise, but I'm the best for me. So fitness is my passion. I love it. And my purpose is to change the world one person at a time. And I do that through fitness. I mainly work with women over 40 that have gone through some type of trauma. That's a word I made up, trauma. Trauma and tragedy put together. Because God has given me so many wonderful, and I have to turn it around, right? Wonderful traumatides, and I go through my experiences. I speak from a place of power to support women, to give them the tools, the skills, and the strategies to overcome all their obstacles that they've gone over. Now, regarding how I actually got into it, I've always been very go like high school cheerleading, all sorts of stuff. But I guess it was when I got to my late 20s, I guess I should say. My mother said, "Tina, you're getting kind of fat," and I was like, "Okay." No one's ever going to tell you you're getting kind of fat. And this is for women. Men, you don't count. So I was really, and then it was when I went to the doctor, and you know how they have those chunks of 100, 150, 200. It went to the 200, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe I'm getting a little big. So then I decided I have to do something about this. So I started on my fitness journey. I'm gonna go really quick with it. I started losing weight. Originally, I did it to feel confident, to feel sexy, to look good. And I did it. I lost over 55 pounds. I was svelte, I looked amazing. And then I still kept doing it. I started working in a gym. I started personal training. I started teaching fitness classes. And I realized it had to be something a little bit deeper. If you look at someone who has a true passion, it's like, what's going on with that person? And recently I found out, you gotta peel that onion away, right? As I peeled the onion away, I realized one of the main reasons why I began and continued and keep pushing through with fitness is because of my father, who died in his sleep at the age of 49 years old from a massive heart attack. Now, if you looked at him on the street, you'd say he's fit. He was a construction worker. He had muscles. He looked great. But he had high blood pressure, cholesterol. He was black. He smoked cigarettes. He didn't eat that well. And I remember when I was going to school for fitness, and I was taking a nutrition class, and he was driving, And I was on the side, I'm studying, and I'm like, Daddy, you're gonna die. Everything on this list you have. I didn't think about it. I was just reading what the note said. He died in his sleep. My grandmother died at a very young age. So for me, I realized if I would have known then what I know now, my father would have still been alive. My grandmother possibly still would have been alive. And then I look at my family members and women and people around me. So that is why fitness is my passion. That's why I go so hard. And before COVID, life is still wonderful now, but before COVID, I was teaching everywhere. And every year I like to get certified in something new. So I teach all classes except for Zumba. We love the Zumba people, but I'm not a Zumba person. Yoga, total body, spin, you name it, I teach it all. So before COVID, I was teaching about 20 classes a week between 7 to 10 different studios, LA Fitness, New York Sports Club, the YMCA. I lived in New Jersey. And then during COVID, everything stopped. So I actually moved to Texas, and this woman hired me to teach online fitness classes. She had a business, and she says, Tina, I want to keep my people moving. So I started teaching fitness classes to them. And then from that, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Again, it was still COVID. And then when COVID was over, people started leaving to go back to the gyms. And I was like, I don't know about this. I really wasn't making that much money, but the few people that were there, I could tell they needed it. I could tell they wanted it, and I loved it. So I kept the business. So currently, let's fast forward to today. I currently have an online fitness boutique studio. I have instructors now because after a while, people want other personalities, right? They don't want just me. So I have other instructors. I have 10 instructors. I'm so proud of them. They teach yoga. They teach total body. They teach core, all sorts of classes. We have over 20 classes a week, but let me tell you, it's more than just fitness classes. We are a community. We keep you accountable. I have a mind and body transformation program. So anyone that comes through my program, I use the tools that helps me get through, again, my traumas to get through fitness. I feel like I'm babbling now, so I'm going to pause.
No. No, we love all the babbles because, those are things that we want to hear because it's your story. And when you're passionate about your story, someone's like, oh man, I'm here like a couch potato. I'm picking up weight. I don't know what to do. The year's about to end. I had a resolution in January to lose X amount of pounds, but now I've added X amount of pounds. People think like that. But also, I think what you've also brought to the table is knowing that health is wealth. And if you are taking care of yourself, then the people you're taking care of also need to be aware of their health. So you've done that, you've seen that happen for you, and that's why you're looking amazing. You're looking great, you're looking fantastic, you're bubbly, you're up and shining. It's all about the vibes, because if you were not looking like this, you'd be looking like something else, and you wouldn't be feeling as great or as ecstatic about your day. So there are people who work out, right? And there are people who don't work out at all because they're like, I have good metabolism. I can eat a whole cow and I'm still not going to worry about my weight. What do you talk about and what would you tell those type of people?
Well, those are the people that really need, I'm not going to say need that, like I told you, looking at my father, you would look at him and you're like, besides the coughing, because he would smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. So he had that, that cough. But besides that, looking at him, you're like, oh, he's healthy. You have that skinny fat person. They're skinny, but they're not healthy. So for that individual, I would definitely share with them, are you going to the doctor and looking at your numbers? Because you have high cholesterol, you have high blood pressure, and you don't know what you don't know. So as I mentioned, in our community, the way I think I keep people excited and motivated, it's all about teamwork. And you said it before, your vibe is your tribe. And everyone needs support. Everyone wants support. So one thing that I do that I think we love, I started a running/walking club. I say walking because I remember when I could not run because I was too fat. And you have women that say, oh, my knees are bad. So we have a walking and running club. It's absolutely free. Pretty much you just grab your phone, you download the Nike running app, boom, you're part of our running club. Every month, our goal is to do 30 miles a month, and people are so competitive. So they're always pushing each other. Not only do we have that, but we have weekly meetings every week, accountability, I like to call them, because nutrition is 80% of the way you look. Exercise is 10%, and your genes, the way your family looks, that's another 10%. So our goal is to make sure that we're always conquering tips and tools, because let me tell you, nutrition is always changing. That food pyramid, that food box. Some people say keto, some people say vegetarian, this, that, and the other. But you also have to remember, you have to do what's best for your body, best for your blood type. Because for the longest time, I was vegan, but I just wasn't, I did it for about 8 weeks, but then I started feeling super weak. And then I realized for my blood type, I'm negative. Oh, I need red meat. I still don't eat red meat, but but for my blood type, the doctor says I probably should. So everyone has to realize they're specific. And something else you said too, in the beginning of the year, everyone has these goals. They want to lose weight. They want to lose weight. They come on strong. And I just say, I'm going to show you this rock right here. Yeah. This is my grounding rock. And it says grace. We all have to give ourselves a lot of grace, because besides the exercise, besides the eating, especially if you're a woman, there's so many other factors that play into losing weight. Did you know that if you don't get enough sleep, you're not going to be able to lose weight? Did you know that if you're stressing a lot, you're not going to lose weight? It raises your cortisol levels. These are things that affect you. If you're not drinking enough water. So these are 3 simple little things that have nothing to do with, your exercise and diet. So that's why it's good to be around a community of people that can share with you how to be better. This month, I'm sure everyone knows, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is my very first month doing an event. We always do virtual events. I love in person, but now it's, COVID's there. So I'm having a virtual women's event next Saturday. You all are invited. It's free. And of course, anything I do, I have exercise in it, just letting you know, no matter what I do. So we're having a 7 o'clock workout class, and then about 7:45 we're going to begin, and I have speakers to share the importance of giving yourself examinations, what to look for, talks from survivors, people who are, family members of people that passed away. And I think this is really important because women, I can only speak for myself, I really didn't give myself examinations. I don't really know anyone who's died from breast cancer, so it doesn't affect me, but it's huge. And again, it can be prevented somewhat. Of course, some people say pray, but what you're eating, what are you putting on your skin? What are you putting on your body? Because you want to make sure you keep your body in an alkaline state. And what that simply means is you don't want to have a lot of acidic stuff, a lot of processed foods. I'm doing that rambling thing again. So that's the first thing I want to share was this Saturday, if you're interested, just tap in. You can go to my website, real simple, starstina.com, STARZ, tina.com. That has all of my information if you'd like to attend the event next Saturday, which is the 29th.
Oh, that's very close. That's very close. Okay. Thank you so much for that highlight, because these are the things that I think a lot of people will need. And what strikes out the most to me when you talked about acidic and alkaline is water. A lot of people don't drink water, and some people do, but not everybody drinks alkaline water. They're like, oh, it doesn't help. Some people are like, it's too expensive. Some people just prefer your regular Dasani or your Kroger water, your Walmart water, whatever it is that you drink. But how effective is water when it comes to hydration between that pH scale?
Yes. I'm going to give you a little tutorial today on that. So even if you drank the alkaline water, the one that costs $5 a bottle, even drinking that, I'm not saying it's not good for you, but you still have to add other things to it. Now, really quick, if you're watching this, in a wonderful world, however much you weigh, you want to drink half your body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to drink 100 ounces of water a day. That's the goal. We have something in our group. We have water bottle challenges. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, the goal is to drink a gallon of water a day. But like he said, having alkaline water is important. These are something that I put in my water, the electrolyte drops. Because you can drink a lot of water, but if the water doesn't have electrolytes in it, then it's not going to, I'm looking for my glasses. So I can read this. But anyway, let me read it to you real quick. So in these electrolyte drops, this is what's needed in your body. In this particular one here, it has magnesium, potassium. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old, guys. I'm getting old. Magnesium and trace minerals from the Salt Lake. So these are the added things that you need in your water. Now let's just say you don't have this. I recently bought this. Pink Himalayan salt. So important. Get some pink Himalayan salt, lick it, and then drink your water with, because your body needs this to get all the good minerals in it. Great example, guys. When I was teaching, my entire left leg, it felt like it was paralyzed. They said my IT band was tight. I'm like, what is going on? And I was drinking a lot of water, but I didn't have electrolytes in my water. So it's super important that you're staying hydrated, you're getting the water in, and either add pink Himalayan salt or some type of electrolyte drops.
That's a masterclass right there. Because, as you said that, I was also thinking about, it's really good to drink water when you wake up in the morning too. Because some people just wake up and they get coffee. So,
yes.
How do you balance that?
Lemon is good too.
Okay. Do you think it's bad for someone to drink coffee in the morning as opposed to water, or they can mix both?
Well, I would suggest definitely water first. And with coffee, depends on how you're drinking the coffee. So a lot of people, when they drink coffee, they put a lot of sugar, they put a lot of milk into it. Coffee is good by itself, just plain old lovely black coffee. It's when you start adding those sweeteners and all that other stuff, that's when it's not too good. But definitely, please start with some water in that body and let it go on its own. And then if you want some other great things that are good, this is, if you really want to clean your system out, is getting some apple cider vinegar, adding some cinnamon, some garlic. I have a whole little video on it. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, you can watch that. And it's something that'll help you clean out your system as well. So.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I feel like this is perfect because a lot of people are gearing up for the holidays and they're about to eat all the weight they lost. They're about to gain it in 2 days. So, in 2 days. So
I have this cleanse. So I designed a 3, 5, and 7 day juice cleanse, and it's all juices. And I actually did it for 7 days. Don't laugh at me. I like to do things that other people that can't, I'm not gonna say they can't do, but they don't do, and it's very, very challenging. So the first thing I did was a 7-day cleanse, which I created, where you're actually making the juices yourself. Like you're getting the cranberries, you're getting the pineapples, it's a whole thing. And then I felt a few months after that I wanted to go even deeper, so I did a 72-hour cleanse with just water. That's it. Why do you want to do this? Because you want to give your body a break. We're always eating. Intermittent fasting, Lord of mercy, I cannot tell you how important this is if you want to lose weight, if you want to maintain, if you're kind of stuck and it's like, intermittent fasting is so important. But next topic.
That's good. No, it all encompasses to, your weight, your health, your mindset, your body, how you feel, all those things really go in. And they also say water is good for your skin. Because if you don't drink a lot of water, you're gonna be looking like the sea's dried up.
I love it. I want to tap in really quick to something you said that kind of swished by, which you said mindset. And with my program, there's 4 pillars, and the first pillar is mindset. And this is so important, not only in fitness, but with finances, nutrition, relationships, anything in your life. All begins with your mindset. How do you see that? And when I talk about mindset, this is another part of my program where we're teaching people how to build their mindset. And how do you do that? By the people you surround yourself with, maybe journaling, grounding, meditation. So mindset is super important. Second thing I like to say is your heart set. And when I think of heart set, I think of people like Kobe Bryant, people like Michael Jordan, that just they've got that extra push. And sometimes to get to those very hard levels in fitness, you gotta have that heart set where it's like you're gonna get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do that race. Last year, I believe in vision boards so much, and last year was my best year of my life. I say one of my goals was to do a full marathon because I'd never done it. That's 26.2 miles, by the way, guys, and I did it in Paris. That took a lot of heart set. I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, dark outside some mornings, to train because you got to, it takes a lot of hours. So mindset, heart set, nutrition. As I mentioned earlier, 80% how you look, and then the last is exercise. And instead of saying exercise, I like to say movement, because a lot of people, when they hear that word exercise, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this, it's boring. So movement is something fun, something you want to do. Maybe it's pole dancing, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's skating, maybe it's bowling. I don't care. I just want you moving your body every day. Plus it helps change your mindset. because you're in control of your mind. So if you're in a bad mood, force yourself to smile. Just look in the mirror. You're in a bad mood, you're sad. And then eventually you start to feel good. Some people say fake it till you make it, but it's all right here in your head. Again, I'm rambling. I could go on for days. Go ahead.
No, I love this topic. I could talk about this all day. You know, as you were mentioning mindset, relationships, exercise, now movement, which even sounds better, because when you hear exercise, you're like, I'll pass. You know, it's like you don't want to be there because you know that, okay, I'm just going to work out for 30 minutes and then eat a full course meal and then gain it all the way back because I'm not doing anything with my body. So it really plays a lot into it. And I also wanted to ask you this question. It's a little bit on a bonus tip. How important is fitness and exercise when it comes to relationships and sex?
Well, okay, so I am going to talk prior because I am a new person now. You're getting real deep now.
Let's go. The deeper it gets, the better. No pun.
No. No pun intended. Okay, so I'm going to start on the good end first so that we can go on the other end. So I can only speak from experience. So, and as a woman, I don't know how it is for men. Have you ever heard of a runner's high? At first, I didn't get it. It's like you're exercising and it feels so good. Sometimes I'm like, it's orgasmic. It's just like, it's that feeling. It's just like you want to keep going. And then, I'm sorry. I got a thought about when I was younger and was happening, and I remember saying, oh, good thing I did this personal training. I got my squats in. My legs are hurting too much. But it's important, you know, if you want to have, they say people that exercise have a better sex life. One reason why I think is you're cardiovascular. You know, you're up there. You're able to move around, and also flexibility. If you're flexible, it makes it a little easier. You know, not so painful as much.
Yeah.
And also burning calories. Your heart rate's already up there. Your metabolism's up there. Plus, when you look good, you feel good. You have that feeling with you, and your body. Again, I'm making this up right now, but I think it's true. Just kind of exudes energy, positive energy. And I always say, when you walk into a space, you want to come in and brighten up the room. You want to brighten everything up. You don't want to dim it down. So when you're exercising, you have more confidence. When you have more confidence, you look sexy, you feel sexy. And that's one word a lot of women share with me why they want to exercise. Because I have to figure out, why do you want to do something? I say your why should be so big, it makes you want to cry. And I ask them, and I'm like, well, why do you want to look sexy? Well, because I want to get a man. If I have, you know, and then it goes on and on and on. But feeling sexy, looking sexy is so important. And sometimes, even just by fixing your posture, suck in your stomach, ladies, roll those shoulders back. You can look 10 pounds lighter just by the way you're standing, the way you're feeling. So being physically fit can definitely help when it comes to sex. And I'll land my plan there.
You want to land your plane? That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you so much for highlighting that, because it's so true. You know, even what you eat, you know, for guys too.
Yes.
It's so true. Let's go there. You know, like, this is grown talk. Sometimes I feel like on this podcast, people, when I listen to and I check out and see what they listen to, I'm like, I didn't know y'all like this topic that much. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back for y'all.
Okay, so for me, you know, you have to know your body. So for me, like I told you, I stopped eating meat. So I was eating a lot of broccoli and like a lot of healthy stuff. And I'm just talking, I don't care. I mean, if you know, my farts were smelling really, really bad. And I'm like, what the hell? I don't eat meat, I don't eat grass, I don't do this. But it was all the fiber stuff that I was eating, the broccoli, the this, the that. Even though you're eating healthy and you're eating healthy, you know, you have to make sure that you're balancing it off with something. Fruits, I understand that when it comes to tasting certain parts of your body, you know, like when you sweat and things like that, it tastes good. Like, you want to taste clean. You shouldn't really have a taste, I guess I could say, if you're thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it was a movie back in the day, they're like, ladies were like rush and eat pineapples.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Pineapples make the juice better.
Yeah, Yes, and another thing you can think about, guys, when I talk about this, when I heard this, think of a piece of garlic. If you put a piece of garlic in between your toes, you will taste it. So that just goes to show you what you put on your body, it goes in, so very important that you're eating clean. Processed foods, we want to I always try to say, if it's in a box or if it's in a bag, you want to stay away from it. I know it's hard when you're shopping, shop on the outer sides of the supermarket. Can you read the ingredients? Is it English? How many ingredients are in it? Because when you're having sex, and when you're kissing, like, oh my gosh, if you're... Like, no one wants to kiss a foul mouth. And the way your teeth look, the way your skin, especially skin. If you're eating crazy, I don't know about you, but like, I mean, I guess I could have put some makeup on.
Nah, you have great skin.
Talking about
you have great skin.
I just put a red lip on. That's a secret for me. Just put a red lip on and it looks like no one wants to be with someone who has pimply skin or bumpy backs. It's just like... And again, sometimes they don't know. So if you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Exactly, because you want to feel good, you want to feel sexy, you want to feel great. Those are the feelings that turn someone on, because you just don't, it's not just about the sex, it's about what leads to it. Because if I'm eating McDonald's and fries and burgers, you're going to taste something and you're going to spit it out because you won't like it.
Smell. It's just like, okay. Yeah, I remember back in the day, it was just like, yeah. You want to be able to just swallow.
Exactly. And I heard it's healthy. It's good for your face.
I was going to say that. They say it's good for your face.
It is. Have you ever tried it on your face?
Yeah.
Years
ago. I was younger. I'm an old lady now.
Why? I mean, I heard that the older you get, the more, proactive, let me just put it like that, you get.
With wanting sex, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, I'm almost 50, so I guess it was about 10 years ago, I was dating someone, and pretty much my daughter's like, Mom, he's the same age as me. That's not right. So yes, as you get older, your sex drive kind of gets up there, and I guess it's time you want to get into that sex talk. For me, unfortunately, I had a traumedy. We're going there now. A traumedy about almost 7 years ago, which has affected me so much. Having sex now is a little challenging for me. About 7 years ago, my son was murdered. This isn't a Debbie Downer. This isn't to feel bad. I know it's a horrible thing. My son was very successful. He was 21 years old, and he had a sneaker boutique store in Rahway, New Jersey. All the high-end sneakers that you could think of, he had there. And one day he was hanging out. He actually had two stores. He had one in New Jersey and one in Pennsylvania. He was doing really good, and he was murdered. And after that, guys, let me tell you, you think I'm wild now? I was literally teaching all the time. I was like on it. But from then, I don't know if it was the traumedy of that, but my heart and sex is a little not where it is. Let's just say therapy is still going on, because I have this cold little spot in my heart. Even though back in the day, I'm a Scorpio. What can I say? Freak in the morning, freak in the evening. But unfortunately, it's not like that these days. And maybe that's why I exercise so much, because you can kind of get that same feeling where it's like, it's not worth it. Makes any sense to you.
Oh, yeah, those sounds definitely switch over.
Oh my gosh, when I first started working out, and the gym where I worked at, it was all bigger women. And it literally sounded like there was sex going on in the room. The moans, the groans. And I was just like, if it doesn't, when I teach classes, I'm bananas when I teach classes.
I love
I'm like, if it doesn't sound like you're having sex, you're not working hard enough. Let's go. You were like intense, flipping tires and just like, Argh.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Because you want to be in that mood, honestly. You don't want to work out and you're just like, there's no
you gotta make it fun. I'm that person who's gonna, for myself and for anyone, please, like, let's see who can do something. If you do a burpee, well, I'm gonna do a burpee with a high jump. Well, if you do a burpee with a high jump, I'm gonna do a burpee with a high jump with a one kick, and just like keep it up, like, hey, in your face. It's very competitive. It just makes it more fun. And something you said, I wrote down when you were talking about movement and the holidays. I want to come up with something. One of my family members does it. After Thanksgiving, they'll do like a American Idol where they start singing. So I think I want to incorporate some type of movement to share with everyone. Movement party, dance party. So after you eat, it's like, okay, let's do hot potato or duck duck goose. I don't know. But I want to get people used to moving after they eat, because most people will sit, undo the pants, have another plate of food.
Exactly.
But you made me think of that, so I put it in my notes. I'm gonna add it to my next challenge.
Hey, you see, this is what the podcast does. I love conversations like this because you don't know whether we're going left, right, or left, or right. You don't know. So that's why I love it. And I keep asking people this question: when was the last time you did something for the first time?
Oh, you're taking my saying. I say that all the time. When is the last time you did something for the first time? When was the last time? I'm always asking that question. I should be prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it could be last time for the first time. It's not cool.
Tell me.
Okay, my last trip, I went to Florida. Did I do anything amazing and wild there? I got into a pool in a beautiful gown. That was the last time I did something for the first time. I went to an all-pink party. I'm a part of this organization. It's called Mom Link. And I had on this, the dress was so gorgeous. The boobs were popping. The split was all the way up the side.
Hey.
And I wasn't even drinking. Let me tell you, I was like, hey, party up here. And I saw a pool, and I was like, I want to get in the pool. And I got into the pool with my gown on.
With your gown on?
So that's the last time I did something for the first time.
Usually when people go in the pool, especially with something like that, they can either just be free and be like, I'm going in my birthday suit, or, we can go have a good time. But people are different. So sometimes people are like, like you said, it goes back to working out. If you feel good about your body and you go through that kind of stuff, you're like, yeah, check me out. I look good. I look good. But if you're not really confident in that sense, you just be like, I'd rather just stay on this side of the pool.
Something I want to say too, for you to say that, because I know there's women who are listening or watching, and you don't have to be a size 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can still be a little larger and be fit. I hear people say, they used to say this to me all the time, oh, you're big boned. I'm like, no, I don't like to say that. But you do have different body types.
Yeah.
Just as long as I said you're healthy. If all your blood work is good. And I like to teach functional movement. For example, squats, push-ups, chest press, because these are things you do in an everyday life. When you're reaching for that thing at the top of your counter at home, if you can't lift up, it's gonna be hard for you to carry. If you have to sit, if you have to pick something up, are you able to squat? Are you able to open that car door? So that's why it's important to be fit, to be healthy. That's the name of my clubhouse room: fit, healthy, and blessed. I think about my mother, who's 70 something years old, and I actually have her teaching classes as well. She used to teach a class called Silver Sneakers. This is a class for seniors at the YMCA, but now she does it online for me called Silver Stars, because we gotta have that stars in there, right?
Hey.
And pretty much she's just dancing. And her thing is, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. She says, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And then she's like, I gotta get rid of Arthur. Arthritis. I'm like, Lord. So, as we get older, stretching. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how important it is to just stretch, and then breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Just taking a moment to breathe, letting all the good energy in, the good feelings, and then exhaling all the toxins, the anxiety, the stress, anything that's not good for you. Just get it out of your system. That's why we need the strength, the breath. I have no idea how we got that subject. Go.
Trust me, that's how this podcast goes, and people love it. They're like, you end up going north when you were like west. Yeah, and it's also good to, like you mentioned, breathing. It's good for exercise, it's good for sex, it's good for swimming, it's good for everything. All those things come together, because if you have a good body and you're breathing, you can sleep well, because when you're breathing, some people snore, and that snoring is probably because they can't breathe, or we can have a whole conversation about this, but I love that you've brought that up, because now I think people are going to start thinking about the holidays and asking themselves, if we end up, God willing, January 2023, can we maintain and sustain our bodies and also retain the knowledge that we've acquired? So I think that's really what this episode is bringing to the table, and I really appreciate you for being here today.
Yeah, and I really want your people, again, I'm putting back up my rock, especially for us women over 40, us women hitting that 50 mark. Give yourself some grace, because for me, I've learned in the past few months, it's challenging. You're going to have those good days, you're going to have those bad days, and when you have those bad days, it's okay. Just don't stay down, and little things. For example, you might say, we do something on Wednesdays where we call it a raw day. So you eat everything, or at least one meal raw, meaning it's not cooked. Give yourself little baby things to do and keep going. And if you mess up, okay, so what? You're human. But make sure you have someone in your circle to keep you accountable. Think of the 5 people you hang around the most. You all probably make the same type of money, live in the same area, eat the same types of foods. There's nothing wrong with that. But find someone that you can reach out to. When I started my fitness journey, I legit, not to say only, I knew I had to move, and I didn't really like moving. So I would text like 5 to 10 people. We want to work out, I did not want to work out, but I knew I had to. And I text these people, and I knew at least one person would say, okay, let's go to the gym. So I'd have someone to go with. So find those people, and trust me, they're out there. And for like the depression and the sadness, I remember my aunt said to me, she's like, Tina, join a running club. Runners are always happy, and it's true. If you find people that run, people that exercise, they're always excited. It's like, what is wrong with that person? Who are high on life, it's like crack. I mean, I've never done crack or anything, but that's what I feel like sometimes. Like when it's time to go to class, and the more screens, the little boxes I see, I'm like, let's go. And it's just fun.
Oh, I'm loving this episode. I'm loving it. It's amazing. When you talked about raw, I was like, let me ask you one question about when you have that raw day. Raw sushi or raw eggs?
So when I meant raw, actually I didn't mean either one of those. I meant like just broccoli, lettuce, green leafy stuff. I'm not doing no raw eggs. Sushi, I used to eat sushi when I ate meat. Sushi's amazing, I love it. But then you can't have the rice because they cook the rice. So on raw days, pretty much anything that's not cooked. If you want to keep it simple, you can have a protein shake. I do at least 1 to 2 protein shakes a day. Again, I'm vegetarian, so I'm going to get that extra protein in. I use a vegan protein because, again, what type of protein are you eating? My protein has brown rice, peas, and cranberries in it. The sweetener is stevia. It's made by Arbonne. Tastes amazing. And that's for the protein. But on those raw days, it's really simple, guys. Let's start with some fruit. And if you're listening to this video, if you hear my voice and you're like, I want to get fit, what's something I can do? Let's talk about fruit really quick. When it comes to fruits, eliminate all fruits except for berries. So only eat strawberries, blueberries, cranberries, raspberries, because fruits have a lot of sugar in it. We all know a pineapple tastes good. I love a good pineapple, a good peach, but it has a lot of sugar, and our body can't understand the difference between good sugar and bad sugar. So if you want to take a step in the right direction, just do berries. Stay away from the sodas. Stay away from the juices. Just drink water. I'm rambling. Go ahead. Get back to me.
No. This is dope. Thank you for mentioning the soda part, because I don't drink sodas as much, because I'm like, I actually gag when I taste them, because I'm like, this is not good for me, and my body knows it. So when you feel like something is not good for you, don't do it, because if you do it, you're going to have those withdrawals, and you don't want to be there. So this is so good. Thank you so much, Tina, for being here and for being on the show. Is there any way, if somebody wants to reach out to you, I know you talked about your website, but if they want to connect with you.
Yes. And as we're closing down, I do want to share one final thing. Each year I focus on something really big. Last year, my big thing was going to Paris to do a marathon, like I told you. And this year in February, I decided I wanted to do something huge to give back, because for me, I feel the more you give, the more you're going to get. So originally I said I wanted to donate 100 pairs of sneakers. Where the number came from, I had no idea. I could donate 100 pairs of sneakers. So I reached out to all of my Nigerian friends. I'm like, hey, do you know anyone in Nigeria where I can send shoes? And this one girl said she worked with someone who had a school there, so I contacted her. I had an interview with the founder of the school. We did a live on my YouTube channel, and it was amazing watching him. He sent me pictures and videos of the kids. And I said, well, how many kids are in the school? And he said about 218, and I was like, I'm only collecting 100. So then a friend of mine who inspired me, she's like, well, Tina, we got to do 300. I'm like, how are we doing 300? Where's the money? She's like, don't think about it, just do it. And let me tell you guys, your goals, your dreams should be so big. First of all, they scare you. And secondly, you can't do them alone. I could not do that, this dream of mine alone. And when I first set sail to do it, I got super nervous when it came to the 100. I stopped talking about it. I kind of like tried to go in the corner, and someone was like, yo, Tina, what's going on with that? I was like, shucks. I was hoping people would forget because I was scared. I was like, how am I going to do this? Long story short, this person, TM Hyman, I'm sure you know him, he had a conversation with me and he poured into me so much. And that's what we need sometimes in life, guys. He poured into me so much, I decided to raise 300 pairs of sneakers and think even bigger. I always say, think big times 10. Whatever it is that you want in life, just think a little bit bigger. Guess what? It's not going to take much more effort. And then once I decided on the sneakers, I'm like, that's cool, but I want to give more. These are cute little bags that I have for my business. Elite Stars, no excuses. I am amazing. That's my tagline. So I want to make bags like this in black with my son's face and logo on it to give to the children with their sneakers. Not only that, I'm going to get bookmarks made. I'm not sure if you can see this right here. That's a picture of my sonny boy. It's like a little shadowy there. But along with this right here, after he had passed away, I spoke to his friends and, just having conversation. And they said, well, they had a conversation one night, hanging out. I guess it's what you guys do. And they said, well, if I die, I want to. I'm like, who talks like that? My son, of course, right? And he said, if he ever died, he'd want a program named after himself. So I started a nonprofit. I have a nonprofit. I call it Lion-Hearted Legend because he is a lion. He's charged. And then I also asked the kids, oh, Lord of mercy. I also asked the kids what were some things he said to them to motivate them, to inspire them. And there's 10 different things. I said, oh, Lord, because it's written here, but they're so tiny and I don't have my glasses. So I'm going to read some of them. And what I'm doing is I'm getting we call it the Molly's Creed.
Okay.
It's going to be a bookmark with his face at the top with these things. And some of them are, I will be legit. I will be a man of my word. I will do the right thing. I will give good customer service. I will present myself correctly. I told you I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really see it. Those are ones I have memorized. But anyway, I'm going to get these printed on metal bookmarks to give to the children as well.
Nice.
I would love any support, whether it's donating a pair of gently used sneakers or if you wanted to donate some money. That website is lionhearted.app. Again, if you go to my main website, which is super simple, starswithaz.tina.com, that's my 10K card. It has all my links to my YouTube, to my links. Again, that's starswithaz.tina.com. That is my big ask for today, is that you would support me into giving back, because not only is it making me feel good, but it makes me feel like his death was for a reason. Every year, February and August, I do something to give back. February was when it actually happened, and August was his birthday, whether we do an event with the kids. I'm rambling again, so I will hush. I'm so excited to be here today. And if you listened to this podcast today, I hope I've inspired one person to eat a little cleaner, to reach out, because my goal is to teach you. It's like fishing. You give someone a fish, you fed them for a day. You teach someone how to fish, you fed them for a lifetime. So my goal is to give each and every one of you a little nugget, and you can take that nugget and share it out with the world. I am Stars Tina. I am complete and so grateful for being here today.
Anytime. And for those links that you've mentioned, please make sure that if you're listening, it's also in the description notes. It's in the show notes, so just click away and make sure you go over to her website, go over to the foundation, donate, subscribe, reach out, because these links are going to be live forever, and these are things that you can always come back to, because we know that if we impact one person, that person will impact another, and we can't do it by ourselves. So I really appreciate you. Exactly. And it keeps growing. It keeps growing. So guys, please stay fit, stay strong, listen to Tina, get your energy up, and get that body going.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime. Take care.